Hey guys, welcome back to a weekly recap. Now, as you can tell from what I just said, I said weekly and not daily. And you also probably noticed that I haven't posted this week. And that's because, as you guys know from probably the last two videos, I talked about how these daily recaps are really stressful and they're taking a lot of time out of my day. And I just realized, trading needs to be my number one priority. I need to focus on just trying to get profitable. I need to focus on analyzing my trades, just thinking, data tracking. I got into data tracking, and that takes a lot of time. And so I realized it would be much better in multiple ways if I just did a weekly recap. One of the reasons is because the quality will be much better. A lot of the daily recaps is fluff. Sure, I recap like the stocks in play, but a lot of the time I don't even know what happened because I've been at school all day. And so I think a lot of the daily recaps, they don't provide enough quality, but if I just compiled all the quality into one video each week, I think it would be golden. And one thing that came to mind was Brian Lee's YouTube channel. It's all pure gold, each of those videos. And he like uploads a few times a month. And so I don't want to do it that infrequently, but I do want to post every week and I'll do a monthly recap. And if something huge happens in the market, then I will post a daily recap about it. But I think these weekly recaps will allow me to focus more on my trading, but also provide you with a lot more quality. I keep saying this, but I'm putting my I'm dedicating even more. I'm going full force into trading even more because I'm so close. I can just feel it. And so I can't wait to just keep making these weekly recaps and to show you my growth. Now this week I'm German now. No, this week I didn't perform very well monetarily, but my knowledge account, boom, like I feel like I understand so much of what's going on, and I feel like I'm so close to just a switch being flipped, and I just know what I'm doing. One of the main problems is being under PET because I just don't. I'm scared to take a trade because I don't. It's like I'm like restrained. Like I can't just do what my mind lets me. It's because like, oh, I only have one trade. I got to make it count. So, but we'll talk about that later. So looking at my stats, as you can see, I only took 3 trades, and I'll explain why. Um, Not profitable at all. If we go here, this is my month so far. So you can see first week I got 3.3 R. Then the next week I got a negative 1.3 R loss, and then this week a zero point 0.9 R loss, which is amazing. Like I'm not losing that much money. With locate fees I am negative, but I don't know. It's been great. So as you can see, based on my scaling system, which I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with it. I might switch to R compound, but if I do stick with it, I'll make a video on it, and I'll explain like the pros and cons of it. But anyways, I performed well that week, and so my risk was 20. So the next week I sized up $5, according to September, which M equals 5. You guys can figure that out. So yeah, I sized up $5 on that week. I did not perform well, but I was following my process, so I decided to keep that $25 risk instead of upping it. But if I was really, really negative that week, I would have lowered it. Now this week, again, I'm negative, and so I'm just going to lower the risk. Until I start seeing a little bit of profitability again, I'm just going to lower it back to 20. I'm going to keep it at 20, but I think by the end of this month, I'm going to have it dialed in. And I'm not going to talk about what I'm changing so much in this weekly recap, but in the next one, I am going to have a lot to talk about. So be sure to turn on post notifications and be ready for it next weekend. I'm probably going to try to post these either on Saturday, Sunday, and in worst case scenario, Mondays. So expect that. Turn on post notifications so you get notified. And also drop a like. I want to make these videos more high quality, and so I'm hoping that more people will watch them instead of having to watch every daily recap. And also, my friend Sam, he was a little absent from trading for a month. And so when he came back, he wanted to catch up, but he had to go through every one of my daily recaps. He had to go through like 30 videos, or 20 videos or something like that. Crazy. If I had just done a weekly one, he could have got pretty much a similar amount of information in less time. So I want to be more efficient. So that's a little bit about that. But as you can see, these are my averages. The biggest loss is a little skewed just because I took 2 trades that day instead of 1. But this is just overall. I'm only down 1R on this month. I don't care about the money yet. Now, with all that said, let's get into some of my trades. SOS, as you guys know from my past daily recaps, this is the kind of setup I was taking, and as you hear, I said was. So I'll tell you what changed in a second. So this was a low-hanging fruit. I was playing the red to green short, but as you can see, I got in way before red to green. So I got in way too early on this, and that's clearly why I lost. Because if I had gotten entry up here, I would have easily got more than 1R. I would have covered all and would not have lost. But for some reason, I chased. I think I was looking at this line right here, and so I was like, "Oh, okay, let me short here, risk red to green. I can still get 1-to-1 if it breaks down here." But that was, with this setup, you have to wait. You have to be patient, I think, or at least wait closer to the open, because a lot of the time you do get these big squeezes right before open in low liquidity, and so I stopped out for 1R there. So yeah. Now, that is the last trade of low-hanging fruits I ever took. There were more perfect setups. Like, this setup is very profitable, I think. But the reason why I stopped trading it, at least for now, I'm probably done forever, is because of the low liquidity, is because of the there's no hard stops pre-market, and since it's low liquidity, if you look away for 1 second, boom, it just skipped $1. And so you're down like 5R or whatever. That's a black swan, but I don't want to get hit by a black swan. At least hard stops, they protect you from black swans, but there's no hard stops in pre-market. And a lot of the time I was entering the second I woke up, because a lot of the time it was right at red to green at 4 a.m. my time. And so I just shorted there, and I could not leave the computer. I could not work out. I could not do the cold showers. I could not prepare for anything else for my day. And also it was super stressful because of the low liquidity. It could skip dollars, but the setup is profitable. So I don't know. I think for my mental capital, also it's not scalable whatsoever. Like, it's low liquidity. And so I knew that this wasn't a setup I could put size on. And so why even put my mental capital towards it? It's also hindering me from growing in the setups that are scalable and that I want to learn. And so that's why I just decided that I should not. Like, it's not about the money. Like, sure, if I kept playing this, I would probably be able to get, 3R a week maybe. But it's just not worth the stress and the hindrance on becoming the trader I really want to be. And so that's why I at least stopped for now. I'm probably done for good. But going on to a setup that I do like more. Well, actually, so yeah, I switched completely. So the setup that I'm focusing on now is all-day fades. That's kind of a recurring theme in me. I'm always switching my setup, and it's kind of annoying, but also I'm picking up a lot of information on each of the setups I go to, and I'm really learning about everything in the market. I'm really learning about the different ways to trade, and I'm finding my personality. Maybe you get lucky in your trading journey where you find what you want instantly and you're profitable quickly. But personally, I've not gotten it yet. And so I'm still searching around. But all day fades, I decided to focus on those because let's see, CVSR, that was the CRVS. That was the first all day fade trade ever I've taken. All right. I'll quickly explain my system. It's the same system as Bear, as the Bear. Probably Brian Lee's all day fades. It's probably similar. Tyler and MIC, he's been a huge help. He's awesome at all day fades as well. But I have my system is very close to theirs because we are getting the same entries and exits on these all day fades. Like, I'm actually getting the same entries and exits as Bear. That's kind of crazy, and that's right away. So Bear's a lot different actually though because he shorts any gappers. But I am focusing on the ones that are above 50%. So if they gap over 50%, it's good. And the reason why I wanted to try out all day fades is because I really like the risk reward. You can make my minimum I ever trade is if I get 3-1. So if the setup can give me 3-1, I trade it. And the beauty of it is if you have 3-1 on your first entry, I have add signals. So once I see that signal, I add 2x size. I lower my risk, so same dollar risk. So my risk reward goes huge. So if you start with 3, oftentimes if you can get 1 to 2 ads, your risk reward will go to 5, in some cases over 8, and it's insane. And so, yeah, the win rate is lower on the setup. Honestly, Brian Lee's win rate is like 25%. I know that much. Bears win rate, it's down there. I think the general like stock that fades is probably like 50%. I don't know for sure. I haven't data tracked that much yet, but yeah, the win rate's lower, but the risk reward is insane. It just blows all the losses out of the water. And so let me talk a little bit about my signal. So pre-market, I saw that this was gapping, and it was over 50%, which is my minimum. And so I'm automatically watching. If we go to the daily chart, I really love this. As you can see, well, actually, I don't know if I really love this. Let me see. Yeah. So as you can see, there's these are the kind of candles and bags you want to see on the daily. Like, look at this massive gap up. We have a run and it dumps and it dumps. And what I do is I go on demand. I go to those days and I draw my lines, and I also see how it faded, like how much this stock tends to fade. But we know that there's a lot of bag holders, which is why I really liked it. And so when there's after hours action and we set a top and we're kind of pre-market, we're down, I always want to wait for a new high, just because it helps the probability a lot. So I just need to wait for a new high. So I was being really patient. Bear shorted down here and he got stopped out. And so I waited. Boom, we break the highs. Really crazy move here. And then I set a high day stop 1 cent above high day, and I short the bounce. That's exactly what I did here. And it's okay to chase if you're close, because as long as it has a clean break, you need to guarantee that you get in. I tried waiting for a bounce, but it was weak, and so I got in. As you can see, this is my entry. And I actually got in on this green candle, not the red one. So I waited for a bounce. I think Bear and Tyler both got in on this candle right here, so they got in a little earlier, probably looking at this. But I wanted a little cleaner break. But still similar entries. We were both risking right here. Like if you look at Tyler's chart, actually I literally have it. Let me pull it up right now. Tyler CRVS. This is Tyler's chart, shorted pretty much exactly where I did, and then stopped out exactly where I did. The difference is he slammed, or he shorted after it wicked out over high day and stopped all the shorts, and then came right back down. He shorted that, but he got stopped out on that. Bear also did that, so that kind of tells you. So look, Bear shorted pre-market, he got stopped, and then right here you can see he had the same entry as me and Tyler. And then the same stop. But they both reattacked after this high day clear out, probably expecting a lower move, and then they got stopped down on that. And then after Bear hit, I think it was probably, he hit 4 cuts on this. I personally won't go more than 3, but I also had to leave for school, so that's why I couldn't reattack. But yeah, so on this setup, I will generally give it 2 to 3 tries, depending on the risk reward, before I just give up on it. And so I took a 1R loss. But I know that all day fades in the future, when I win, it'll be 3R, 4R, 5R, 6R. It'll blow all my losses out of the water. And so that's what I'm expecting. And I'm really confident just because of how my entries and exits are the same as Bear and Tyler, because they are really good at all day fades. And right away, me getting similar entries is a huge confirmation just that my system is right. Also, my cover target was at 310. I think it was at 310. It might have been at 3. But Tyler said he had the same outer line covers, so that's another confirmation. But as you can see, I don't know why I have that there. But as you can see, this thing grinded all day, which is crazy. They both actually nailed IPHA, this crazy move. So same thing. You wait for a support to be broken. It pops, and then boom, it breaks. So they reshort that bounce, and it fades all the way down. And it never hit their cover targets, and so they covered right at the close. So that's a little bit about all day fades and why I decided to focus on these now. And let me just go over another one of my trades, which is DATS. Not that day. DATS right here. So we are very low liquidity, low volume pre-market. We have a massive squeeze, massive exhaust move. This is similar to the all-day fade entry, and okay, I'll tell you guys now. I'm developing a strategy around this. I've been visually analyzing charts, and a lot of the time when they set supports and then they break that support, shorting that bounce gives you good fair risk reward, like 1 to 1, 1.5 to 1, and good win rate. So I'm gonna be back testing this and trading it next week. This week technically, and so that's the big thing I want to talk about next week. So stay tuned for that because I'm gonna show you guys my results. I honestly was running around my room this morning because I felt I had a huge breakthrough. But I've felt that a lot of times in my trading career, so I'm not getting overhyped. But I can't wait to talk about that with you guys. But this trade was exactly that. So I shorted a bounce. I knew a lot. I think Farmer was in this. And so a lot of people were trapped up here. And so this is the line. Boom. Let me remove these other lines so you don't miss out on that. I think my stop was at 8.2 right here, yeah. And so I short this line. We go a little bit more, but I don't get stopped out. And we tank. This cover was a little fast. I should have been more patient for this. But honestly, you can't expect this huge of a move every time, I don't think. But yeah. I mean, that was a solid trade, honestly. What I'm really proud about with this trade is I saw an edge and I took advantage. I didn't hesitate. I didn't be like, oh. Honestly, I was probably having FOMO, but I knew that the edge was there and that long term, this kind of trade would be profitable. So that's honestly my recap. Wow, I've been doing this for 17 minutes. That's a lot. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this change. Would you rather daily recaps than weekly recaps? I'm probably gonna stick with the weekly recaps, and then I'll post daily recaps if a big moment happens, and I'll post the monthly recaps, and maybe I'll organize some other kind of videos to help you guys and also just help me, so I can go back and look at them. I love rewatching my videos because I can see the growth right away. I can see, oh wow, why did I do that? But yeah, with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace out.